Greetings, happy Monday to you all. Well, it's time for me to share a few thoughts and insights. And actually, I'm going to share with you the exact same thing that I shared in our circle gathering yesterday that we do every week here at Sacred Grove. And I know I've mentioned it before, but it's a wonderful way that we come together and share all of our thoughts and insights in what we call a spiritual conversation. And so yesterday was my turn to bring the subject into the circle for discussion. And so I thought I would bring it to this circle as well today. So one of the teachings that has been really, really strong in my life and very profound actually is the understanding that we hold within ourselves all of the answers, that we already know everything. We are connected not only to each other but to Source. And in that connection, we hold all of the answers. We came here on this planet in this life knowing. And in our humanness, in this human body and in this human experience, we don't always remember that we know. And so I've always felt that we don't need to turn to books and teachers and gurus to teach us something that we don't know. But what they do for us, what all of these beautiful opportunities, the readings and the teachings do, is to help us to remember what we already know. And I say that with people that I work with in the spiritual guidance sessions as well. In fact, I usually explain it in the way that I am there simply to shine the light so that they can see the answers that they already have. And so I might help them see it and remember it in a way that they couldn't and or wouldn't on their own. So it is the same thing. And recently I was rereading a book, and this book is, many of you probably are familiar with Jamie Sams, and the book is called Dancing the Dream. And in it she's talking about our pathways in life, and one of the things that she talks about is our initiation, and this particular chapter is called Remembering Our Oneness. And so she is actually talking about the same concept that I'm talking about, in that we already know. We already carry our own answers. But this was an interesting concept that she had that really stuck with me. And so I want to share this with you as well. I'm going to read you just this paragraph. She says, "We cannot remember why we are here, what we are to accomplish, what place we have in life, how we can contribute, or how to find balance in our lives if we are actively being dishonest with ourselves or with others." And that was really huge, that one statement, that we cannot remember all that we have come here to be if we're being dishonest with ourselves. And sometimes that dishonesty with ourselves shows up in believing something about ourselves that's not true, in that believing that we're not good enough, in that believing that we're not smart enough, or whatever that, I call it the lie, whatever that lie is. I know that's a strong word, but whatever that is that we're believing that is truly not the truth of who we are, then we can't remember. That's being dishonest with ourselves. And so this next part that I want to read was the really interesting thing. She says, "The remembering occurs when we are willing to create a personal creed and live by it. That personal creed can take the form of promises we make to ourselves. For instance, an example of a personal creed might be as follows: I will be good to my body. I will be truthful with myself and others. I will treat all living things with respect. I will honor the rights of all human beings to be individuals with their own sacred point of view. I will embrace my faith, and I will trust the Creator's divine guidance. I will see all experiences in my life as ways to grow with lessons to learn. I will strive to be my personal best without comparing my path to others. Believe it or not, following this simple example of a personal creed requires a lot of energy, focus, and impeccability. And that was one of the points that I really wanted to bring to you, that in the remembering of who we are, in the remembering of all of that knowledge that we carry, that we have to be honest with ourselves and hold ourselves accountable to a personal creed, to a way to live, to a way to move through this life in a way that we can be impeccable, that we can be in integrity. And each of us will have our own creed that will be very, very different. There may be some overlaps and there may be some similarities, but I know that my personal creed will be very different from your personal creed, and the way in which you follow it and carry it out will be. And I think the writing down of this creed carries power. I think writing it down carries a commitment, a level of commitment. If you really think it through and you write it down, then you hold yourself accountable to following your own personal creed. And what that means is that if you stray off of that and you find yourself, if in your creed you say that you won't judge others and you will allow them to be on their own path, and then for a moment you find yourself being in judgment, then that personal creed that you've written down allows you to come back to center and to let go of that judgment in a way that empowers you, in a way that empowers you to be truly who you are here. So it sounds very simple, and it probably is very simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy, these things that we do. So I just wanted to leave you with that thought today, that you already know all the answers, that there are books and people and teachers that you will come across in your life that will help you to remember all of those answers, and that just maybe your own personal creed and a way to live up to that and not to be dishonest with yourself or with others will also help you to remember all of the answers that you already know. So I'm sending you big love today and wishing you many, many blessings.